Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Andy in Singapore. For today's video, we are going to do a 1-year review of my Citizen Chronomaster AQ4020. So when I bought this watch last year, I bought it last November if I'm not wrong. I did some videos on this one. I think I did a 3-part review video on this one, on the things I like and I dislike about the AQ4020, which is this watch, the washi dial version of the Chronomaster. I think this is a good time for me to share with you my thoughts after owning this watch for a year. And I've actually worn this watch many times, alright? So in my world, when I say I've worn it many times, it means I've worn it for more than 10 times. Okay, I don't wear it every day. My everyday watches are G-Shocks. I wear sportswear most of the time, and I sweat a lot in sunny Singapore. So this watch, I've worn it to occasions such as dinners. I've walked around town with it. I've been to MBS for shopping and all that, not for gambling, all right? I'm not for gambling, I'm against gambling. So I've also worn this watch when I perform at weddings and events and all that. Okay, so I do perform these days at weddings and all that. I try to sing and play some guitar and all that. So this watch, AQ4020 washi dial, has not failed me in any of these occasions. It means a joy to wear. It is fantastic. I love this watch. I totally love this watch, all right? It is an awesome watch. I just love it, all right? So this is the end of the video. Bye. All right, now jokes aside, I watched Jody's video. Just one more watch, Jody. So in his video, he mentioned this watch changed how he views watch collection as a whole, how he views luxury watches and all that. And I fully agree with Jody, okay, because this watch really changed how I look at watches. And as cliche as it sounds, this watch to me is the game changer. You know, every minute with this watch is just a joy. The wearing experience, the overall build quality, and how well built this watch is, how refined. You know, everything is just really nicely done here. And of course, the accuracy here is just unmatched. So to put into perspective how awesome this watch is, alright. So since getting this watch, some of my favorite watches, they get 0 wrist time. Okay, let me just bring in my Zin, alright, which has always been sort of the size comparison watch in my videos, alright. If you've been following my videos, I've always used the Zin 556 as a sort of a size comparison kind of watch. And I'll be honest with you, ever since I've bought my AQ4020, the Zin got 0 wrist time. So now with the lens zoom in very slightly, let me share with you some of the reasons why I feel that at the 1-year mark, this watch remains the top of my list, top of my collection. All right, so the first reason, it is how comfortable this watch wears. It weighs in at 70 grams with, I think, 5 links removed, or is it 4? I can't be sure, but size to fit my 17 cm wrist, this watch weighs in at 70 grams. Okay, so for comparison, a G-Shock typically comes at about 60 grams, 55 to 60 grams. A G-Shock 5600 square. And if you're talking about a BB58, it comes in around 125 to 130 grams, size to my wrist. This one here, about 70 grams. And this is a full metal bracelet configuration. Of course, this is done in titanium. It is not steel. So it feels very light. And to the point that many of my friends, they were saying it feels like a toy. When you're wearing the watch, it feels like a toy. But for me, it's a fantastic feeling to wear a watch that is full metal bracelet configuration and weighing in at so light at only 70 grams. And of course, we have to talk about the accuracy of this watch. So on paper, specifications from Citizen, it states that this movement, the A060, it has an accuracy of, or rather a deviation of 5 seconds per year. So I bought this one and I reset the time in December last year. Today is December 31st. All right, it is half a second slow. Half a second, all right? It's not even 1 second slow, it's half a second slow, and I can definitely live with that, all right? It's just amazing, the accuracy, the technology here, all right? So I read up on the manual and things like that. This one here has got things like some sort of hour and minute hand, separate settings and all that. I can't be bothered to learn all these things because for me, this watch, you set the time, you don't play around with it, because the more you try to reset, you might mess up the perpetual calendar. All right, so the perpetual calendar here, it auto compensates or auto resets for things like February or months where there are 30 days and all that. So it's just amazing, all right? So much technology going on in this watch. So now let's zoom out for a wrist shot where I show you in terms of wearability, in terms of size, thickness and all that. This is just perfect for my wrist. 37.2 millimeters K size. Overall thickness is just under 11. I think it comes in at about 10.7 millimeters. It's got a flat sapphire crystal with AR coating and all that, so wears really well. Not a big fan of the long and straight scissor clasp here. So you can see upon removing the watch, the scissor here is rather long and quite straight or flat at most parts of the clasp. Alright, but small problems, alright, not a big issue. Alright, there are some sharp points here at the edges of the buckle or clasp. Alright, sharp. Okay, this is not rough, it's just sharp, but I don't think it's enough to annoy me, because overall, the underside of the bracelet and all that I think remains very comfortable. The overall build quality here is just fantastic. Okay, I know many of you out there are saying GS is still better in terms of polishing, in terms of brushing and this and that, but don't forget this watch has Duratec coating, and just have a look here. I've worn this watch out and about a few times. We're talking about more than 10 times, and for me that's a lot, okay, because most of my watches they get 0 wrist time in the space of a year, or at most once or twice. So if I wear a watch more than 10 times in a year, I think that's a lot in my books. All right, so not a single scratch or mark, not at all, not even on the clasp. And this is usually the weak area, right? Because when you wear a watch, the underside of your wrist rests on the table when you're eating or when you're writing at the desk or something like that, but not at all, all right? So at no point on this watch I see any marks or anything like that. The bezel is all clean, no nicks or marks or micro lines at all. This is truly amazing. It shows that the Duratec coating really works on Citizen's watches. So it does seem like this is the perfect watch. Is it really perfect? Okay, of course it's not perfect, all right? There are some things that I dislike about this watch, all right? So mainly I hate the crown. I hate the crown, all right? It's the worst thing on this watch. Shouldn't be on this watch. The crown here looks terrible, looks like an afterthought, looks like this OEM part, you know, stuck in there. I don't know. They should have done a nicer looking crown, okay? This crown is horrible, unsigned. Looks like it's a wrong spare part, okay? Looks hideous, but what can we do, all right? This is life. You don't always get what you want, everything your way, this kind of thing. So I'm not a big fan of the crown guard as well, or rather this watch has no crown guard, but again, I can live with all these imperfections, okay? Because overall this watch is just awesome. All right, so I get this kind of comments every time I talk about the price of this watch. So, you know, people, watch fans out there, friends, my own brother, all right, so, you know, they hold the watch, oh, nice, okay, they say it's nice. You tell them about the accuracy and all that, the build quality, the washi dial, the paper dial, the floating indices, this and that. It's nice, okay, but the moment they hear that this watch costs more than $3,000, they got a shock, all right, because they think that a quartz, a Citizen quartz should be around 300, 500 Singapore dollars at max. And I think they sort of question my logic in buying a quartz watch for this kind of money, all right? But for me, no regrets at all. I love this watch a lot. All right, I'm going to continue wearing it very often in 2024. So I urge people who are looking at this watch, if you're still considering whether or not to buy this model, I gotta tell you this, all right? So this watch has been discontinued, all right? I don't think it is in the catalog anymore. So if you want to get this watch, just get it whenever you can find new stock for this one, because the newer models, they come in thicker. I think they're about 12 millimeters thick, and that is not a good thickness for this style of watch. Okay, so this style of watch, you want it to be around 10 millimeters, no more than 11 millimeters. So 12.2, 12.5 millimeters for this design is way too thick. So if you're still considering, please get it, all right? Get a Citizen Chronomaster quartz, all right? Don't sit on the fence. Don't consider if you should spend more than 2,500 Singapore dollars on a quartz, right? This is not your usual quartz. It is different. In terms of accuracy, in terms of quality, in terms of technology, this is high-end stuff. And I really urge you to seriously consider getting this one. In fact, don't consider it anymore. Just buy it already. So there you have it. That was my 1-year review of my Citizen Chronomaster AQ4020 Washi dial. All right, so awesome watch. All right, no regrets at all in purchasing this one. So if you're still on the fence, really, you gotta buy it, you gotta grab it soon before it gets discontinued. So here's wishing everyone a happy new year, a great 2024 ahead. So I know in the past few months, my content production has sort of dropped significantly. I really apologize for that because I've been busy with many other things. All right, so namely my music and my guitar side of things and all that. So I'm not too sure if I want to reveal exactly what has been keeping me very busy and away from the watches. All right, but I wish everyone a great year ahead and more watch purchases in 2024. Let's hope that the prices remain very stable and the watch stock and availability improves in the new year. So this is Andy in Singapore together with my crew members. We've got George, we've got Pixie, and the Roly Poly guys. All right, Happy New Year. Have a great 2024. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.